Hello. So glad you came so I can welcome you as I've been welcoming you every Sunday of this whole year. And today is the last Sunday. Wow. The next time I say welcome, it'll be 2025. But I'm so glad you're here. So I can welcome you to the Advancement Center and to the world of magic and miracles that you bring in. Did you know that? You are part of the family, and we so appreciate you. And of course, what makes all this happen quicker is hypersonic magic. Yeah. It's just such a pleasure to be here. Now, I often wonder, well, what brought you here? Of course, if you're a member of our family, there's no question, because we look for every opportunity to be together and to validate the joy of being together. But what if you just happened out of curiosity, a curious mind? But most likely, I think it's a heart in search for meaning and well-being, and most of all, harmony. When you're in harmony, everything throughout your whole being is operating magnificently. And you feel it. And more than that, everyone around you feels it. And we call that hypersonic magic, because there is so much love and so much warmth and acceptance and encouragement. And that's what we are. And guess what? Even though the mind has been called the king of the human being, no, I see it as the heart. Now, I have a wonderful story to tell you. Yesterday, we were watching our favorite newscaster, who doesn't buy in to the hype of the media. And he tells it as it is. And we appreciate that. When I say we, I mean Robert and me. And then, I'm not quite sure how this all happened, because I was inside doing something else. But I realized that the following broadcast that Robert was watching was with Greg Braden. Now, he's a very familiar name to me. And I said, oh, I want to see that. That's important. And it was. Now I wrote us something here. Oh, yes. Yeah. Of course, I just went ahead of myself. But what I wrote here is where we recognize your presence by perhaps a curious mind, but most likely a heart in search for well being, harmony to otherwise conflicting messages, abundantly distributed 24 hours a day on the media. Yeah. Always attempting to either sell, coerce, frighten, convince, redefine, and shape our world via artificial intelligence, creeping into our lexicon as AI. Well, there is nothing artificial about a deep feeling of love, acceptance, honor, and truth. And every word led me to tell you about my dearest friend, Simeon. Now, Simeon is Robert, my husband's brother, living in a different realm. So we're very much in touch. I met Simeon when we lived together in Australia. Yeah. Every morning he connected with us, and soon after, he was who I wrote to every morning in my journal. Now, what could be better? You write in your journal and you get an immediate response from the one you're writing to. It doesn't get better than that. So at this moment, I'm going to read you this morning's entry in my journal. I know I'm rambling, but I'm so happy to be here. Okay, here it is. I keep a journal. I must have about 25 of these by now. Okay. Oh. Oh, here it is. Sunday, 12/29/24, 8:37 a.m. Dearest Simeon, today is my broadcast, and I am excited to share what Robert and I watched on YouTube yesterday. Greg Braden explaining in clear and caring language the true oh boy, I can't read my writing. Oh well, okay. Well, the true explanation of who and what we are. Not as popular belief, certainly not popular belief in everything we've ever heard, but he said, the heart is the master of our body, not the mind. I could just hear everybody saying, oh, no, 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 no. The mind. And I'm saying, mm-mm. And I'm quoting Greg Braden, harmonizing the brain and the heart is of utmost importance. Forgive my halting reading, but I don't see as clearly as I used to. I used to have better than 2020. Now it's somewhere else. And I end with awaiting your response. And immediately, Simeon responds to my utter delight and joy and anticipation. And this is what Simeon wrote to me. Dearest Barbara, you have been searching for harmony your whole life. You have followed your heart the entire time. And wow. And you needed it. Oh, boy. At any rate, he spoke about, I followed it all my life. And if I ever didn't follow it, I was riding down the service road next to the highway, which is not as high. While you were on the service road, many people benefited. Yes, I was always in service of children, people in the mental institution, everywhere, speaking to seniors. Hmm. You have blessed and, oh my gosh, I'm not even going to make you suffer with me. At any rate, we all follow our hearts if our mind doesn't interfere. That's what it really all about. We know what love is. We don't have to have it spelled out. We know what acceptance feels like. And so this was quite wonderful. And listening to Greg Braden, I felt as though I was listening to a broadcast on the Advancement Center, because everything he said was like dovetailing with what we hold and know to be true. He spoke clearly, without hesitation, from experience, and sometimes very personal. And he said, the heart is the master of your being. That's not taken into account. I'm not even sure if I read this, but the most important thing is all that the heart wants is peace, harmony, agreement, joy. Acceptance. That's a very, very big statement to come across on a public YouTube and say the mind is not such a hotshot after all. It's the heart that leads the body. It's the feelings. It's the hurt that a little child could feel early in life and spend the rest of their life trying to undo that feeling. And it's so easy to see because in our physical world, yes, we love our infants and our little ones are precious and adorable. And then we send them off to school because we want the very best for them. And what do? They focus on that little child's mind. And not every mind can grasp everything at once. Different children feel at different times. So I envision, and I don't have to go too far because I am on the board of directors of a beautiful school for children called the Peace School. Yeah. Which had its beginning at one of Robert's retreats many, many years ago in Pennsylvania. It was a beautiful experience. And I knew it would be. I know I'm rambling, but I've got to bring this all together here. This retreat happened right after we were married. And we were in Pennsylvania, and I knew it was going to be amazing. So I called my friend, Susan Terry, who lives in North Bay, Canada. I said, Susan, get down here. You have to be here. This is important for your life. She jumped into her car, drove 12 hours, and it changed her life. Because the last day of this beautiful retreat, Robert went around the room. There must have been about 50 people there. And he said to each person, tell us your heart's desire. He didn't say, what do you think? He said, what do you feel? And Susan stood right up and said, I want to build a school for children where they learn through their heart. And it's happening. It hasn't been easy. She's jumped through hoops at every turn, raising money, and it's happening. But now I hear Greg Braden speaking about it's the heart that counts. And I envision the school, not unlike the Peace School, but this a step further, where a little one who comes to school for the first time falls in love with a whole new atmosphere where they feel welcome, hugged, and a sense of fun and feeling so good that they go home and tell their parents they can't wait till the next day when they can go back to school. And to continue that and to never let it flag and let it happen. And so that there's an unfolding of possibilities. And I don't care what the subject is, if you love it, you bring so much magic to that subject because you never forget the feeling and the excitement and the joy of learning something new. So I'm definitely recommending that you go on YouTube and you look for Greg Braden, and he's on a podcast with this wonderful host who has to be wonderful. And he's named his show Know Thyself. And in the most relaxed manner, Greg speaks as though he's giving a broadcast from the Advancement Center. And he's speaking in terms of inner knowing. And his information is vast. And he's done a lot of research. And he quotes the Bible. And they were on the right track. Yeah, of love and acceptance and joy. So look for it. It's called Know Thyself. It's on YouTube. And I promise, Robert and I just looked at each other and said, he's the real deal, as you are, because you're here right now. And because you're joining our family where love is king. And your heart will never steer you wrong. It's interesting because my experience, as Simeon said, when you've been off your highway, you're on the service road. And I remember, I went to 4 high schools because my parents were in the process of moving to Cleveland, Ohio. And by the time, and I stopped off at an uncle's house and had to go to that high school. And then I went to another high school. And when I got there, I ran into something that I had no idea about. I was the new girl with a New York accent, pretty, and someone to be jealous of. So I had no friends, but one. And I'll never forget her. She didn't buy into all that stuff. And that was Charlene Crone. And that's why when you experience joy, love, acceptance, it's there forever. So this has been fun. Nothing prepared. And as I look at the screen, I see there's the heart. And there's the wreath of joy, which I send to you. And now I get to that place where it's no longer Thursday night, it's Friday afternoon. It cuts into our celebration a little bit, but it's fun and it's wonderful. And Mandar gave us 3 inspirations that we can draw from, and 6 women, 2 on our computers and 4 sitting in his studio, his garage. And we all agreed. And this is what we agreed on. I think this is the right way. Yeah, this way. Yeah. I hope you like it. My heart is so full of happiness and joy to be sharing these feelings of discovery and hoping that you're feeling loved, appreciated, and ready to enjoy a most perfect life with perfect health and a truly magic future where everything comes true. Thank you for joining me. I am Barbara.